Today we're going to begin mindful yoga in child's pose. Today I have a mat as well as a blanket for my prop. If you've got a blanket at home that you'd like to use, you want to go grab one. We're going to just start incorporating this into the practice since we have blankets pretty readily available in the house. And today you'll first start by sitting up on the knees. Allow the spine to grow tall. Extend up through the crown of the head. Allow the shoulders to fall and melt down the back. I'm going to start theming my months for these classes. And today's theme, starting this April, is going to be embrace. I'm choosing embrace because I'm embracing the fact that I'm home. I'm embracing the fact that my life is different. And that's okay. So as you sit here, just becoming aware of the body. Grow a little bit taller through the spine, up through the crown of the head, slightly tucking the chin. Take a big breath in here. Exhale out the mouth. We'll take one more breath. Let's inhale the arms overhead. And then as you exhale, fold forward, moving into child's pose. You may separate the knees. Now crawl the hands forward. Allow the neck to begin settling in. Resting on the mat with the forehead, or on a block or a pillow if your head doesn't reach the floor. Once you arrive here, allow the face to relax. Breathe into the back side of the body. Your neck can be relaxed here. Simply tuning into how you feel this morning. You can take a deep breath in, send the air all the way down the spine, down to the tailbone. Exhale it out the mouth with a sigh. Exhaling the breath completely. And then you may draw the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, keeping the lips sealed. Inhaling deeply, opening through the back of the throat, and then as you exhale, slightly constricting the back of the throat on the exhale. Pressing all the air out of the body, navel to spine. Continuing to breathe in this way. And as we do this together, see if each exhale you can soften something new.
Allow yourself a few more deep breaths here, giving yourself permission to embrace this pose, embrace any way you are feeling this morning. On your next breath in, take a deep breath. Notice the chest expanding. Notice the back of the body expanding. And then you'll bring some gentle movement to the fingers. And walk your hands over to the right. Stretching through the left side body, you can relax the neck once more. Sinking the hips back to the heels. Inhale. Walking the hands to center, over to the left. Inhaling on the second side, breathing deeply. Moving back to center. Stretch the hands out once more. Press the palms flat into the mat. Energetically drag the palms toward the body. Feel the stretch in the shoulders. See if you can breathe into the space where you're feeling this. And throughout class today, see if you can send your air to different parts of the body. Wherever you're feeling the stretch in that moment, send the air there. And then you'll gently begin to roll the body forward. Through tabletop, you can align the knees and the hands, but you'll come all the way through to a cobra position. So elbows can bend slightly. Elbows draw toward each other behind the back. Chest rolls forward. Shoulders are down, away from the ears. Press the palms firmly into the mat, especially the thumb and the forefinger. Press all 10 toes into the mat. Extend the crown of the head long as you do this. Big breath in. As you exhale, roll back to child's pose. And continue this motion on the breath. Moving with the breath, connecting the breath and the body. We'll do this a few times. You can keep the eyes closed if that feels good. See if you could find something new in each of these poses every time you arrive. We'll take one more big roll. Forward and then back. Beautiful. you arrive back in child's pose, you could tent up the fingertips, the palms. Fingertips stay grounded, palms are lifted. Press all the fingers into the mat. Activate through the arms. And then let's crawl it forward, palms can come down. You're going to lift the hips, send the chest toward the floor, the chin toward the floor for puppy pose. Active through the arms, pressing down with the palms. Notice the core strength here, keeping you lifted. And then roll all the way forward. You can keep your forearms down on the ground. Bring the legs straight and fairly close together. Your big toes may touch. And let's set up for just a brief Sphinx pose. So Sphinx is generally on the forearms. Cobra is generally on the hands under the shoulders. So we're going to go into Sphinx today, and you're going to press into the palms. Spread all 10 fingers. Feel all 10 fingers on the mat. And then let's move the awareness to the shoulders. Shoulders are steady, grounded, and just above the elbows. So check your elbow alignment here. Crown of the head is reaching forward, and your gaze can be just directly in front of you, maybe 6 inches from the top of your mat. Gaze can be low or eyes can be closed. And then you'll bring the awareness to the feet and the legs behind you. So press the tops of the feet into the floor. Press all 10 toes into the mat. Again, press the palms into the mat. We'll stay here for a few more breaths. Slowly turn the chin toward the right shoulder, stretching through the left side of the neck. Breathe into that stretch. And then turn the chin to center, over to the other side. Breathe into the opposite side of the neck. Continue to press the tops of the feet into the mat. Activate through your core. And then bring the head back to center. And you can lower all the way down. Lower slowly. Release the lower back. You can also shake the butt and the sit bones back and forth a little bit, just like your butt's a little plate of jello. Just shake it, let it out, let that go. Lift the feet, crisscross the legs back and forth. Awesome. And so we'll really let go of that a little bit more. Bring your arms out to a T. And then raise the right foot. Bending at the knee, foot is raised and foot is flexed. And then you'll push yourself away with the right hand. Send the right foot over to the left for a twist. And it's okay if your foot hangs in the air or reaches the floor or rests on a wall, whatever you're near. You can rest it on something. Just feel this twist here. Feel the stretch in the front of the opposite shoulder blade. Breathe into that. On your inhale, you'll roll back to center. Let's do that on the other side. Left foot will raise this time. You can roll out the ankle, roll out both sides if you haven't already. And then press yourself away with the opposite hand. Send the left foot over to the right. final twist, breathing into this. Maybe thinking about extending the crown of the head a little long as you breathe in. Inhaling to roll to center once more. Awesome. And now we'll bring the hands under the shoulders. Elbows will squeeze in toward each other. Really press down through the palms, especially through the thumb and the forefinger. And you'll lift up for a baby cobra. So you might barely lift off the ground. Heart is peeling forward. Press all 10 toes again into the mat. You'll notice this activates different parts of the body. Continue to breathe. And then lift the hands just an inch or so off the mat. Continue to extend the crown of the head forward. Gaze is soft. Slightly gazing down the slope of your nose. And then lift the feet. Lift from the inner thighs. You can continue to let the big toes touch if that's accessible, or feet can just be slightly parted. Continue to squeeze toward the center, the midline of the body. Elbows are squeezing. Shoulders are away from the ears. You may notice the body rock back and forth. Lift a little more, one more breath. And then exhale, slowly release it down. Turn the cheek to one side, relax the arms anywhere on the mat. You can separate the legs. Take a big sigh out the mouth. And we'll do another variation of that. This time you can do the same one that we just did, or you can bring your arms out in front of you for a Superman type of a pose. And then you'll inhale. First you'll lift the upper body. Both arms will reach forward. Spread the fingers. You can even rock the wrists back and forth here. Stretch them out. Using the strength of the back to lift you. And then lift through the feet. You can circle the ankles here. And we'll do some gentle swimming motions. So right arm, left leg will raise a little, and then they'll lower and the opposite arm and leg will raise. Keeping the legs hugged in toward the midline. Big toes are gently passing each other. Let's take a couple more rounds of this. See if you could lift a little more from the torso and the back. One more full round. And then make a pillow with the hands. Rest the cheek on the hands. Big sigh out the mouth. And then plant the hands under the shoulders. And we'll press it back to child's pose again. Knees can be together or they can be separate. Hands can be out in front of you or they can be at your sides. Relax the forehead into the mat. Simply notice how you're feeling here. If you have a blanket under the legs, you can remove it at this time. And simply move it to the side. If you joined a little after I started, I'll probably start incorporating a blanket into these practices. Since we're all at home and should have access to a blanket or a towel. And we're going to continue to build on what we've just done. So you'll crawl forward once more, come down to the forearms, and again, elbows under the forearms. So you'll come back to Sphinx pose, elbows under the shoulders, sorry. And then press the palms into the mat. This time you'll tuck the toes, and you'll press the heels back. Just notice how that feels. And then lift yourself up into a forearm plank, grounding down through the palms, pressing out through the heels toward the wall or whatever is behind you. You can adjust your stance. And we'll hold this plank for maybe 30, 45 seconds. If you'd like to experiment with something, you can try moving into a dolphin. And to do that, you would just crawl your toes forward, keeping the legs straight. You can bend the knees a little bit. Relax the neck as you crawl forward. This is like downward dog on the forearms. And if you're in dolphin, you can crawl it back to forearm plank. We'll stay here for about 2 more breaths. Drawing in through the midline again. Press all 10 fingers into the mat. And then exhale, lower it down. Release the hands. Release the neck, close the eyes. And then you'll draw the hands under the shoulders, and this time you'll either come up through all fours, tuck the toes, and press back to down dog, or you can draw straight up through a push-up and a plank, and then come into downward facing dog. And once you arrive in down dog, pedal the feet. Just gonna see who's here. Oh, Patrick, Nancy, and Jason, thank you for being here. And if down dog does not feel good on your body, you can always come back to all fours. That is always an option. And today, all we're going to do from down dog, so you'll continue to, you can stop pedaling the feet and just notice the hands. Spread the hands, press into the thumb and the forefinger. Press the weight, see if you can take a little weight out of the hands and press the weight back into the heels. This might send your butt a little higher and back in space. And then let the neck relax, breathe into the back just like we started. Notice the back expand wide. Notice how you feel in this pose. At the end of your next exhale, gaze will come toward the hands. And one at a time, step the feet all the way in between the hands. Hang in a forward fold. Feel free to keep a deep bend in the knees here. And if you'd like, you can clasp opposite elbows, gently rocking from side to side. Again, fully relax the neck. Release tension in the face. Just allow yourself to enjoy this pose. Release the arms if you've got them. Inhale to lift your body halfway. Lengthen the spine as you go. Slowly. Crown of the head is reaching toward whatever's in front of you. Inhale here. And then exhale, lower back down into the fold. You'll inhale, slowly roll all the way up. One vertebrae at a time. Head will lift last. We'll end here in Tadasana, mountain pose. Palms are facing forward. Eyes can be closed or gaze can just be down the slope of the nose. Lift all the toes, spread them out, and then place them back on the floor. Really press them into the floor. Feel all four corners of the feet. Gently sway from one side to another. You could sway front to back. Awesome. And then facing the front of your mat, you'll heel toe the feet out to about mat width. Hands can come to heart center and you'll lower down into a squat. And you'll just keep lowering all the way to the back. And this is where you may bring a blanket with you. And just keep it on the side for now. Lower all the way down to the back. Hug the knees into the chest. Make the knees wide. Rock from side to side. While you do this, see if you could press the tailbone down toward the mat. Really continuing to lengthen the spine. And then you could stretch the feet up toward the sky, either holding onto your shins or legs, or you can take the big toes, moving into a happy baby, pressing the feet up toward the ceiling. Again, pressing the tailbone. You don't have to rock here, you can if you'd like. But again, press the tailbone down, really elongate through the spine, send the air down there. Release the muscles of the pelvic floor. And then we'll end in a Shavasana like we do in every class. And here's where you may like a blanket. So you could either cover yourself with it to stay warm, or you could roll it into a blanket roll. You can bring 2 blankets next time if you want. Place it under the knees. That might be a nice option. Allow the legs to separate. Arms are separating. If you have a hair tie-in, you could just release it or let it out. Allow yourself to take up space here. Allow yourself to let go of the breath. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale it out the mouth. Notice the feeling of the body being fully supported by the floor. Embrace any way you are feeling right now. Before making any movements, Deepen the inhale through the nose. Send the air all the way down into the toes. Exhale the air however you like. Take a moment to choose a word that you'd like to take with you throughout the rest of today. Eyes soft. Give yourself a little smile. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Move through the wrists and the ankles, bringing movement back to the body. If it feels good, you could take a deep stretch overhead. Bending through the knees, keeping the eyes closed. Roll into your right side. Again, deep inhale here. Exhale out the mouth. Keeping the eyes closed or the gaze low, use the hands to press your body up into a comfortable seat. And sitting up tall, growing tall through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. Bring hands to heart center. Allowing yourself to acknowledge and embrace how you feel. And know that whatever you're feeling is totally okay. Thank you for sharing your practice this morning, and hope you have a great day. Namaste.